Joining us now in an exclusive interview is Dynasty Equity Executive in Residence, Nakisa Bidarian. He's also the co-founder with Jake Paul of Most Valuable Promotions and is promoting tonight's fight. Great to have you here with us, Nakisa. So Mike Tyson has an estimated net worth of $10 million. Some reports ballpark Mike Tyson is getting paid $20 million to fight Jake Paul. Is that about right? Maybe low?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. We're excited about this historical event. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are making 8 figures each individually. And in addition, what we're most proud of is the co-main event. The two women, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, are also making record paydays for women's boxing. So really continuing to push equality within sports, and particularly in the boxing field.
So what's the insight here business-wise from how you've brought not just this bout, but the whole thing you've done with Jake Paul together? I remember the Tyson-Holyfield fight summer before my senior year in college. I would struggle to name you 2 big deal heavyweight boxing matchups since, and yet here we have this. Where does this fit in the pantheon of what boxing has become?
I met Jake Paul 4 years ago, and immediately I realized that he had a competitive advantage. And that competitive advantage versus traditional boxing and MMA athletes was that he had audience, the captive, engaged fan base that we could speak to, sell to, and build with. And over those 4 years, we built his audience to be 3x of what it was then. And then you fast forward to today, we've partnered with Netflix, who has over 282 million subscribers, probably over 700 million homes globally. And we're able to bring boxing back to the forefront and give the sport its due that it used to have in the days of Muhammad Ali, that it had for a period of time with Mike Tyson. So we're very excited about the transformational nature of this event, not just for boxing, but for sports as a whole.
Nakisa, it's great to have you on. There's speculation swirling that this is going to be a rigged fight. So how do you assuage those concerns, especially when this is going to be a big betting event, albeit not in Texas where you're not allowed to place a wager?
Yes, so number one, I think every Jake Paul event, people try to say it's a rigged fight, and that speaks to the unbelievable progress this young man has made at the age of 27 in disrupting an entire sport and continuing to defy expectations. Secondly, we're partners with Netflix, the biggest media company in the world. If this was a rigged fight and there was legal sports betting happening, that would be a federal crime. So Netflix, Most Valuable Promotions, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson would be committing a federal crime. It's absolutely ridiculous to suggest that this is anything other than a professional bout under the rules of the Texas Athletic Commission.
Yeah, and certainly a lot of people are going to be tuning into this, I think myself included, tonight. The fact that this is going to be happening on Netflix, what went into those negotiations, and how does it speak to what is perhaps this new chapter of media entities that are going to be taking on these live sporting events?
Sure. Look, we worked on a documentary with Netflix, the Untold series, The Problem Child, which was Jake's story. That premiered in July of 2023. At that point, Jake Paul fought Nate Diaz, actually here in Dallas at American Airlines Center. And we had some Netflix executives join us to see the breadth of the mainstream appeal of what Jake and MVP have been doing. On the back of that, we signed a deal November 1st of last year for Most Valuable Promotions to be the first ever live sporting event on Netflix. Next month, it's the NFL, but our company, 3 years old, is doing it first. And look, we look forward to having a continued relationship with them. This is obviously their first foray into combat sports. There's a lot of big expectations, but we're pretty confident we're going to deliver on those.
Nakisa, I'm guessing that Mike Tyson is the most globally well-known living boxer. There was a video game named after him, et cetera. What could you possibly do with Jake Paul after this to continue on, let alone top it?
So, look, we strategically partnered with Netflix for this fight. All of our distribution strategies are dependent on who the opponent is, what the consumer is, and what we want to achieve with those outcomes in terms of the brand build. So for Jake Paul, who's 27, fighting a much more experienced but much older fighter in Mike Tyson, we believed that Netflix was the right platform for it. It wasn't necessarily about maximizing the last dollar, even though the gate here is close to $18 million as we sit here, which is the biggest boxing gate in the history of the United States outside of Las Vegas. But we wanted it to be on Netflix exactly of what you said. He is an iconic figure known worldwide, and you bring in Jake and you connect those generations. From the baby boomers to Generation Alpha, there is interest. Grandmothers are talking to their grandsons literally about this event.